Hey everybody, I'm Alesha, and if this is the first time you're here, welcome. I want to address three topics that I was thrown. How can I help? Um, how can I be an ally? And why did I drop Alpha Phi Omega? That's technically four, but I accidentally put three. I'm just gonna get right into it in the interest of keeping this video under an hour. And one of the reasons why I joined Alpha Phi Omega is because I just wanted a place to call home. I wanted brothers and sisters because I never had siblings growing up. And a lot of organizations on campus at the time kept rejecting me. And I'm one of those people to keep trying despite. And to answer the ally question, I just feel like some of you are just posting Black Lives Matter posts just to be posting them and you really don't mean it. There's been a number of you where I've ran into you out in public when you're with your white friends or when you're with a certain group of friends, you act like you don't know who I am. How fake and phony is that? How can you sit here and talk about my Black Lives Matters and you post that all over our feeds when you really don't mean it in real life? You're still out here stereotyping, you're still out here racially profiling, and you're still out here being mean to people who are different than you. Who's different than you? I'm pretty sure that didn't come out right, but hey, I'm drinking liquor, so some things might not come out right. And I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be cruel, and I don't hate anybody. I'm just speaking honestly right now because I can see right through the post. And it's not just a post, and it's not just quotes that's going to make long-term change. You know, I can sit here and post all day, but you got to go out there and make the change. You know, go through the training, go do some soul searching and see what can I do to solve this problem. And racism is a huge problem. And so I just think some of you are posting Black Lives Matter posts. Yeah, I'm an ally. But then you're out here being the same way, stereotyping people, being mean to people, and it's just not cool. Oh, there might be some noise in the background. I'm trying to keep the noise at a minimum. One of the reasons why I joined, I already talked about that, but another reason why I joined was I just wanted a place to call home. One of the first things I noticed, the air conditioning, hello. One of the first things I noticed is that there was a click problem. And if I have to redo this video, I probably will, but I'm just going to go with it. There's going to be noise in the background, I'm just going to deal with it. But one of the things I noticed is that there was a click problem. And if you're watching this and all your friends are white, I'm not mad at you. I'm not judging you, but I am going to ask you to be more inclusive because when I joined Alpha Phi Omega, there was a lot of friend groups that was already established, and they were not going to let nobody else in because you got your people you already trust, your clique, your group. And again, I'm not faulting anybody who you're close with because, hey boo boo, Dee, that's my doggy. I'm not going to get angry at you for growing close to certain people because that's your people, but I'm just going to ask you to be more inclusive in your day-to-day life. And I'm just going to say too, if you come across this video and you're not in Alpha Phi Omega and you find that you're not in the majority, so for instance, if you're watching this and you're conservative and there's all liberals and progressives in your spot, or if you find that you're the only conservative person in your workplace, or you're an older person and you find that you are surrounded by a bunch of youngins. If you are in the minority, in other words, you're not in the majority, you find that you're the only one. You're the only black person in the sea of all white people. You're the only Latino person in the sea of all white people. In any other group, and you find yourself in the sea full of white people, you might be able to relate to this, you might not, because I'm making this video to address those three things, but maybe you had a situation you can relate to what I'm saying. You may be able to relate to this, you may not. Welcome. I'm happy you're here. There's some white people who might come across this that genuinely your heart's in the right place, and I appreciate you. And you just want to watch a video because you're curious. Welcome. This might sound like I'm attacking you, but I'm not. I don't hate anyone. I'm just using this to educate at this point because it's a part of my story. And I just want to share it because I've had some people ask me, and instead of inboxing 10 people the same thing, I just want to make a video, one article, and whatever I don't get to in the video, I will either make a part 2 or make the article longer. I hear more noise, but anywho. Okay, so when I started being a co-chair, that's when I noticed people started talking about me behind my back. And I can't solve a problem if I don't know about it. And being a black person, being a Latino person, being an Asian person in an organization, have you ever heard the rule that you have to be 2 times as good or 10 times as good to be seen as exceptional? Or sometimes you're in the workplace and you find that all the little white folks are, gossiping about you in the corner, trying to find a way to sabotage you, trying to kick you out of the job. I'm sorry if you had to go through something like that, but you understand what I'm talking about when I say you got to be 10 times as good, or in some instances 2 times as good. I've heard it both ways, to be seen as exceptional. And one of the things I noticed in Alpha Phi Omega, not nobody, there are some people who will come to me, but most people went behind my back. And I'm the type of person, if I have a problem with you, I'm going to go to you directly. I'm not going to go behind your back. No problems are not going to be solved if people keep saying he said, she said. And I noticed this, I'm like, okay. And I'm just going to point out a couple things that will point to some of the white privileges I've seen in my chapter. And you have to understand, I'm not a race card person. I'm not a woe is me person. But after bringing this up with a couple of other chapters across the country, they said, bitch, read the writing on the wall. And oh, by the way, I do curse in this. So for any kids watching, sorry. Any parents who are watching this, I do curse. So I'm just keeping it real. I'm going to curse a lot. They just said, bitch, look at the writing on the wall. You're a black female in a mostly white chapter. Get real. You might see them as human beings, but they probably will see you under the surface as a second-class citizen. It is not everybody doing it, but it's just a number of them. They're going to show themselves. And I'm just going to throw out a few examples of how they showed themselves. When I ran for pledge trainer, one of the biggest things I learned was nobody cares about your problems. They want what they want. And you need to just provide what they want or what you said you're going to do. And I had to admit, I wasn't going to do everything because some of my ideas weren't that great after, doing a little bit more investigating in them. And I was like, this is not a good idea. But no one ever came to ask me, how come you didn't do this or how come you didn't do that? But I couldn't afford Rush t-shirts or Rush tanks. And I ran out of money, told them this, like, yo, I can't do it. It was my mistake. And I just had a bunch of other things going on at my time as pledge trainer. Some friends passed away from suicide. My school, in the School of Technology, was racially profiling me. It was just a bunch of things. And I didn't want to come into the office with all that drama because at the end of the day, nobody cares about your problems. They just want a big rush class. They don't care about you not being able to afford something. They don't care about your scholarship being taken because some teacher was giving you a hard time in a class in your major. They just want their numbers. They want their members. They don't care about you. Even in business, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell a client about all my personal problems. They want their problems solved. And if you can't solve them, we're going to take it somewhere else. So I just used to notice when I made a mistake, people came down on me 10 times harder. And when one of my white male friends made mistakes, people kind of just, that's all right. Don't worry about it. It's okay. He's having a bad day. And I was just like, okay. Trying to be the team person that I am, I didn't really want to say anything. I just figure, hey, just kids being kids. But then I just used to notice my white male counterpart, Jamie. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. This is just a lesson. And they used to listen to him more. When I say an idea, sometimes people shot it down. But then when one of my white male friends said an idea, people got behind it and people actually signed up for the project. And sometimes I would teach one of my white male things just to see if it would get a different response. And sure enough, it got a different response. And at some point in time, as a black person, you just have to say, okay, if you say something, then they're gonna call you a race card, petty person. You should just try harder. You know, that's not it. It's not your skin color. But then deep down, you know it is. And you know what I'm talking about if you've had it happen to you, know, having people gang up on you in the workplace, trying to kick you out, trying to get you fired, trying to put more work on you. Same thing here. Like I just remember when I tried to say something, I just noticed people were on their phones talking, looking down. But then when my white male counterpart Jamie says something, everybody listened. You could hear a pin drop. And I never held nothing against nobody. Again, this is just education. And I remember I had to miss my pledge project. I forget what reason it was. But then my old master got mad. She was like, "Oh my God, how can you can't come?" When Jamie said he had to miss, nobody said nothing. And I think maybe too, I just had an emergency reason. I just had to drop at the last minute. But the point of the matter is, as a black person, as a Latino person, as an Asian person, as a Native American person, or anybody in the minority who's watching this, you understand what I'm saying? When you make a mistake, you know, everybody's throwing a gauntlet at you. But then when one of your white male friends make mistakes, people cover. So if I was the old master in this situation, I just would say, hey, our pledge trainers can't come. We're just gonna make the best of the situation. And one of the other things I noticed one time, somebody forgot to copy the waivers. And again, that's one of my white male friends. And one of the other APO members in the office was like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll make a copy of it for you. But then when I made a mistake, when I forgot to do something on the project, when I was just making an honest mistake, the gauntlet was thrown. Like, and then you realize, as a black person, when you make a mistake, people are gonna come down harder on you. And if you say something, oh, you're just being petty. You're just using the race card, so you can't win. On one hand, I was trying to be a team player. Hey, baby. On one hand, I was trying to be a team player, but on the other hand, you just realize what's going on. And I definitely noticed more white privilege going on, especially when I ran for president. And honestly, at first I said, whatever this president thing is not for me. They voted for who they want to vote for. But then again, when I brought this up with other members across the country, they said, again, look at the writing on the wall. You're a black female in an all-white chapter. Bitch, wake up. And when I ran, I remember looking out in the crowd. Everybody was on their phones. Well, not everybody, but a number of people were on their phones. They were opening up their books. You could tell they didn't want to be there. And you could tell that Emily made them want to vote for Jamie or an influencer in your chapter. In fact, let me take 10 steps back. How many of you have somebody in your chapter that people listen to in your workplace that everybody likes? There's that one person that, you know, everybody goes to because they know what they're talking about. This person was Emily. And I'm not trying to throw you on the bus, Emily. I'm just trying to teach you a lesson. Hang tight. Same thing with Colleen. Same thing with some of the other trailblazers. You could pretty much tell that she wanted Jamie and Aaron to be president because it definitely wasn't me. And that's okay. You can vote for who you want to vote for. I'm not mad. But one of the things that's good and bad about having an influencer like that, people start to automatically side with this person. You know, I'm just going to listen to what my friend wants me to do. I'm going to listen to what so-and-so wants me to do. I'm going to listen to what yada, yada, yada wants me to do. Instead of voting or thinking with your mind or heart. So by the time I got into that room to say my speech, I can tell that, you know, I wasn't going to win the war because people have already made up their mind. They weren't going to vote for me. And that's okay. Like, those are my brothers. You have a right to vote for who you want to vote for. But at the same time, they didn't give me a chance. So if you want to be the ally that you say that you want to be, I'm just going to ask you to vote for a black person to be leader in your organizations. Vote for that Latino to be the CEO of your companies. Let that Asian take the lead role in your films. Let people of color take the lead. And I'm also going to ask you to give them the same benefit of the doubt that you would if it was one of your white male friends in that same position. So, for instance, if somebody forgets the field trip waiver and because they were having a bad day, cover for her. And if it happens to be a black female leader, cover for her. Be her pep talk. Be the person that she can confide in. But damn it, don't use information against her and then go all across the chapter trying to gang up on her. Because I've seen it happen so many times in several organizations. You know, you put people of color in leadership roles, but then people sabotage them and try to do things to set them up to fail. And again, if you're a black person and you're in an organization of all white people and you've had it happen to you, you know what I'm talking about. If you're a Latino person and been in the organization where you're the only one in the sea of white, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to ask you, if you're watching this, give the people of color a chance to lead. Do not throw the gauntlet at them when they make mistakes. And please, 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 cover for them the same way you would cover for your white male friends. Because I will tell you, there's been a number of times where when I made a mistake, but then when the white male makes a mistake, oh, that's all right. You know, he's just having a bad day. And I've seen that happen so many times that it's crazy. And I can sit here and keep talking for a couple of hours about that, but I won't. And here's another example of white privilege. In high school, I remember my English teacher, you know, she was going to make sure that I didn't get no more than a C in her class. No more than a C in her class because she had an idea of how black students were. You got to understand, English is one of my favorite subjects. I've wrote for Huffington Post. I write for Medium. I read at college level in sixth grade. So English has always been my strongest, and I hope that came out right. Keep in mind it's a liquor. Let me repeat that just in case. I was reading at the college level in sixth grade, so English was always my strongest subject. But in her mind, black students, you know, you're not supposed to be in a private Catholic school. You're not supposed to be here because I have this idea of how black students are, preconceived notions and stereotypes. In the grade school I came from wasn't the greatest. There was just a lot of things going on, and the reputation was pretty much real. Unfortunately, in society, black schools aren't associated with black excellence, and unfortunately, that school that I went to fell into that stereotype. And she wasn't going to give me the benefit of the doubt the same way she gave some of her white friends the benefit of the doubt and some of her white students. So she gave me the hard time, you know, put the big old red X in my papers. You know, you're not going to get no more than a C out here. When she met with my parent, she met with my parent in the teacher conference room with another counselor because she thought that my mother was an angry black woman and was going to attack her. But when she realized how nice my mother was, she said, hey, I want to go around and ask people about Alesha. When she went around to my other teachers and realized how much of a good student I was, she was like, this is not the typical black person that you hear about. And if you're a teacher watching this, again, if you want to be an ally, like your posts say, I'm just going to ask, give people benefit of the doubt, treat all your students like human beings, get to know them as individuals. And look, if I run into her today, I would buy her a drink. No harm. Like, but I'm just going to say she didn't give me the benefit of the doubt. She had some preconceived notion of how she thought I was. They have an idea, put black people in this box, stereotype them all, and they're all the same way. Because, see, I'm going to explain more of this later, but they like to put the worst examples and then say all black people are like that, but then put the best examples of white people and say they're the best. Judge people individually. That's the only thing I'm going to ask. And yeah, I could keep going. There's probably more things I need to elaborate on, but again, whatever I miss, I am going to write it out because I don't want to make this a 3-hour video. And yes, I've heard APO people say the dreaded N-word, and I tell them, do not use the N-word. I don't care how close and how comfortable you are with me. Don't use the N-word. Just don't do it because it's just not right for you to do. I don't use the N-word. I don't use the C-word. And you know what I'm talking about. It's not club. So do not use the N-word. Just don't. And this is a part of the video that's kind of current. One of the reasons why I decided to not be involved in APO as an alum, I've had a lot of mean run-ins with a lot of people from my own chapter, and I'm just like, okay. One time I tried to be nice and extend an olive branch and say, hey, congratulations on you getting married. She told me where she worked. I remembered. And I just wanted to be nice. I wasn't trying to get invited to no weddings. And then I ran into her a couple days, I think it was a week or a couple days later. And you could tell she didn't want me bothered, and that's okay. But I bring this up because I think she thinks I was following her, and I'm like, no. I was just trying to be nice because Ellen DeGeneres always says, be kind to one another. And I was just trying to be kind. And I don't know why some people think, oh, this black person is following me around or trying to stalk me. No. I was just trying to be nice because there's been a number of times where I've ran into people at different events, and we were happy to see each other. Nobody was following each other around. We just had the same interests. We gotta make some more noise in the background. Same interests and same desires and same. We all like tequila. I would never think that somebody is following me around or somebody is too good to join in this with me. And I'm just gonna say, the reason why I knew about your event is because I've made donations, and I'm not gonna bring this up again. I was in Dance Marathon for years, and I was made aware of Friends of Riley. I was made aware of all these different charity fundraisers associated with Riley Hospital for Children in the midst of it. To think that I'm trying to follow you around ain't cool. I would never, follow you around like that. You're not that important to me, and I would never be that highfalutin to think, oh, this person's following me around this bar, because if I RSVP on something on Facebook, and one of my friends happens to see it, you're welcome to come. It's a public event. It's not my right to tell you that you can't come or, whoa, you're following me. You know what I'm saying? It's just not okay. And if you're watching this, I wish you well. I was just trying to be nice. And the fact that you give me weird, dirty looks, I'm like, what? I was just trying to be nice. I've done it on multiple occasions. When I was filming a project in New York, sent one of my friends some donuts and said, hey, it was nice meeting you. Hope we get to work on set again. And she said, Alesha, that's one of the nicest things that somebody has done for me. And I just had to explain, are you okay with me sending flowers for congratulations? Because I had a lady that I tried to be nice to, tried to reconnect with, and she took it the wrong way. And she said, why are people treating you mean for being nice? I don't know. But to cover my ass, I'm asking permission. And again, a lot of people are like, why are you asking me to be nice to me? And I just have to explain again. There's this lady that I knew. She took it the wrong way. She thought I was trying to follow her. She told me where she worked, and I was just trying to be nice. So when you have a wedding, would you be okay with me sending you a congratulations? She said, absolutely. Don't even tell me when you do it. I just want to be surprised. And So I will cover myself, but understand I'm not trying to follow you around. And if I see any of my friends out in public spaces, I'm just going to be nice. And I'm running out of time, but I decided to not be involved in Alpha Phi Omega as alumni because people have just been mean. And I thought about making Alpha Phi Omega one of my lifelong organizations where I give a lot of money to. But since so many people are being mean, so many people act like my black life don't matter, which I can tell doesn't matter to them, I decided to no longer donate money, find some other organizations to give to, and put my heart other places. So my time is about to run out. And I know I missed a lot, so I'm just going to write it in the article. But I wish everybody well. And if you want to talk to me, I'm here. If you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. And I'll talk to you later. Cheers. Be well, be nice, be the allies that you say you are. Later.